All right. So we could do the song for 20 minutes, but now you can see how that song could go over 20 minutes. All right, you can have a seat. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
But it's a really hard thing to learn how to cook. And for me, and I would say one of the things that I feel God has given me a commitment is because I value and I love my friendships and my commitment to the African American community has more than been just good intentions, but it has been a commitment to understanding and respecting and trying my best to appreciate all that God has done in that community. So for me, it's been a 10-year journey, how me as a musician, as a vocalist, as a minister, as a friend, how I can be faithful to the blessings of that community and to not try to misrepresent it, not to take it and use it for my own advancement, but to be faithful to it. And I think, for me, when I think about mission, that is something that's so important. We learn about that in classes like contextualization. We learn those things. And I think for me, it's really been God's grace through mentors who have challenged me. So, example of like cooking. Imagine, right? Like, well, whatever your home cuisine is, somebody from a different race is like, Andy, you really love kimchi. I'm gonna give you the best Korean food you ever had in your life, man. And he brings out Panda Express. Now, I love Panda Express. Don't get me wrong. I think it's delicious, but it's not Korean food.
What?
yeah. And I think for me, it's an issue of hospitality. It's an issue of all those things. And I think for me, it's my story has been, what does it mean to really appreciate different cultural traditions and work really hard so that I believe that God is a diverse God. And I believe it with my theology and my ideology and my ministry philosophy. But if I'm not willing to really invest in the cooking of diverse cuisines or the development of different worship, what I am saying with my actions is that some cultures are better. So passion is much better than gospel music, if that is all that I do. And I think that's something that I think is a real question that we need to ask ourselves as American, if I'm also about for a second here, is if all we're singing are songs from white American cultural or Australian or English, then I think what we're doing is we can talk all we want about diversity and reconciliation, but in our actions, we're saying that some cultures are better at worship than others. And I think it's the equivalent of saying some cuisines are more normative, are better. And so while we like those exotic things every once in a while, we're going to just kind of keep that in a corner. So that's a little bit of my story. And so thanks for listening. And just to kind of recap where I think our stories have come, I think God has a great banquet feast for us here in the Church in America. But I think in an increasingly global and diverse world, I think it's our job as pastors, students, seminary-trained individuals to offer the fullest revelation of who God is, the global God, the God of all nations. And so I think for all four of us here in our stories, hope you got to see why for us the diversity of music and its intersections with culture and mission have been fundamental to what it means for us to be ministers of the gospel and to be stewards of everything that God's created in us. And I think that involves understanding the sovereign foundations that God's given us, our home cooking. That involves taking risks and experiencing other cultures, even when it's strange and weird. And then I think 3 is learning how to pastor people and prophetically invite people to places that they won't be willing to go through the cooking of new foods that are different, and to disciple our churches and our students in a global God, not just in a monocultural God. So thanks again for listening, and we'll just, as you guys can stick around, we're going to do one more song. This is actually a song that's written by one of our friends and colleagues who's Puerto Rican, and she wrote this song as a kind of a prayer. And the chorus is, I'm going to dance, I'm going to sing, I'm going to jump because you are my king. And so that's how we're going to end. So thanks again for listening. Thanks for being part. And then, yeah. Thanks for the 6 of you guys. It was really great to be here. So
7.
7. Yeah. Thanks, Janice.
It's a whole number. Yeah. Completion. Yes. In the morning and the evening. Candela, al amanecer y a la noche. Eres la luz, eres la
Have a good rest day.